and welcome to this tutorial about MuleSB. My name is Harish and today I will be covering MUnit. MUnit is a framework provided by Mule to do unit testing and integration testing of your applications. So before we go into details about MUnit, I would like to say this is just a first part of this tutorial, and in today's tutorial I will be just covering little details about MUnit, and we will be doing one setup of application, um, which we will be testing with MUnit in the second part of this tutorial. So let's get going. So as you can see, MUnit, it says like validate your flows in MuleSB. So before we go into MUnit, so what is testing? There are lot of testing types existing in IT industry. What we are interested here is two kinds of testing. One is unit testing and integration testing. So what is unit testing? Unit testing is validating the smallest piece of code or a module which you have written to verify whether it works as expected and it gives result what you want. Then integration testing is a validation of collaboration of these units hold together as a single ecosystem, how they behave together and how they impact each other. So that is what we test in integration testing. The single rule of thumb in any coding or any environment is always unit test everything. Even if it's smallest piece of code, you should always write a unit test for that, because you can validate how it behaves and then you can predict how it will behave when you integrate it with another system. Now, important part is when you do coding, you should always code so that you will be testing it. And what points you see here, it's related to Mule. So in Mule, always write short flows. If you write too big flow and very large flows, then it will be very difficult for you to test it, since there will be a lot of parts and like lot of logics implemented and it will depend on a lot of things. So to avoid that, always divide your big flow into small flows. Then you have modularize. What does it mean is divide your application or your flow based on its functional areas. Don't write everything into single XML file. Create different XML files and write your flows in that. Maybe depending on the goal of that flow or what kind of functionality it's implementing, divide that. Then always third point is depending on environment, because you never write a code which will always run in dev environment, so it has to get propagated to dev, production, pre-production, staging, testing. So always use placeholders in your code wherever you can, especially for outbound connectors like database or HTTP connectors, which are going to change in based on environment. Then fourth point is it should be readable and maintainable. Always write your test case so that you know what that test case is for. Don't give random names to your test cases. Always give good names so that once you see the name, you will know for what you have written that test case. Then error messages. This is the most important part, because if you write ambiguous messages just like failed or something like not working, then you will not know why your test case has failed. So always write correct error messages depending on what kind of test you are doing. Then MUnit, as I said, MUnit is a Mule testing framework which is provided by MuleSoft. What it does, it gives you easy automation of testing Mule application. You can write your test case once and then you can choose to run them anytime. Then it's available for both unit and integration testing. I will be showing how you will write for unit testing and how you can do it for integration testing, because how you implement it for integration testing is going to change, because you have to initialize a lot of objects, because a lot of if it's depending on different systems and your test cases are depending on each other, then you have to take all these things into consideration to make your unit. And as it said, like your unit test should always be autonomous. It should not depend on any other test case. To implement this, Mule provides a message processor mocking framework with which you can mock any object or dependencies which your flow depends on. So what we will be doing is, or how we will be learning MUnit is, I will be creating one main flow which has three parts. It's one is main flow, which will receive one HTTP request which we will be posting using Postman, and we will be passing some argument to it. And then we have a secondary flow which is known as decision flow. So main flow looks something like this. So I have already created application. These are the screenshot of that. I will be showing the application also in just a moment. And then you have a decision flow. This decision flow will take its decision based on the uh, payload or data passed by the main flow to this decision flow, just like this. So it has a choice. It will take a decision and can choose whether it has to go to flow reference 1 or flow reference 2. This flow reference 1 and flow reference 2 are the two subflows where we are going to set some variable based on how what choice decision flow takes, and then this variable information will get passed to your main flow, and the main flow will set its payload depending on this variable set by subflows. So this is the presentation, and let's I will show you in Anypoint Studio how this project looks. So just to save time, I'm not going to create this from scratch. I have already created this because our main goal is not to learn how to create flows. Our main goal is to learn how to test them. So in this demo, it's in this tutorial, it's just I will just show you how I have created and how the decisions are going to take. So we have a HTTP inbound endpoint, so which is taking one information which we are going to send through Postman, and which is HTTP query parameter, and we are sending one decision key. So this decision key is getting set into payload, and then our main flow is calling decision flow, and this is the decision flow. So we have a simple choice here. So if our payload is value 1, then we go to flow reference 1, else we go to flow reference 2. This is our decision flow 1 and decision 2 subflow, and here you can see we are just setting one variable uh, which we call decision variable. So we take decision 1 or we take decision 2. Then the flow comes back from decision flow, and here we have another choice where, based on the flow var decision variable, if it is equal to decision 1, then we set payload as decision 1 was taken and decision 2 was taken. So let's quickly run it and see how it runs. So I will be using Postman to post data. Okay, so it's done. So my MUnit demo has started. Not yet. So once it's get boot up and ready to go, uh, let's go back to Postman and let's call this. Okay, I have one. So here you see I am passing one decision key value 2. So as you remember, if I send value 1, I should get decision 1 was taken, and any other value I should get decision 2 was taken. So let's first send value 1. So you see we get decision 1 was taken. Let's change it to 2. Let's send this decision 2 was taken. You can send anything other than value 1. You will take decision, you will see decision 2 was taken. So this is application for which we are going to write MUnit test cases, and I have not created any MUnit test cases yet. So in tutorial part 2 I will be doing everything from scratch so that we can all see how it is done. And this is just a setup for this part 2, and I hope you will not miss part 2. So thank you for watching, and if you like, please subscribe, share and like this video. And I have also created one tutorial on my blog where I have given all these steps in text format also, so you can check that also in the link below. Thank you for watching.